Fluttershy's Giant. Epilogue. Several months after Dog had left, Fluttershy gazed out her window at the night sky again before settling down to bed. "Good night, Angel." Angel yawned and waved a paw at her, then nestled down in his basket and began snoring. The Pegasus lay awake, watching the stars. Beep. She leapt out of bed and stared at the box on her bedside. The screw inside stayed a screw, unmoving and unbeeping. "I must have dreamt it," she murmured, and lay her head down again. Almost as soon as she had done so, she heard a noise and bolted upright again. Thud. Beep. Fluttershy leant over and peered at the box, which was missing. Her eyes snapped open immediately as she peered over the edge of the bed and saw the box on its side. Beep. She turned her eyes to the window and smiled. The screw was upright and tapping against the window. Beep. The Pegasus got out of bed and carefully opened the window, allowing her piece of the giant to leave. "See you later," she whispered and waved goodbye as the screw rolled over the edge. She whispered and waved goodbye as the screw rolled off to the rest of itself. The blue light flashed as it rolled through the grass and down to Ponyville. It passed its statue on the way out of town. It stopped and beeped at the bronze version of itself, smack in the middle of Ponyville. Then, it carried on its journey. It had a long way to go. Far, far away, in the frozen tundra of the north, past the Crystal Kingdom. Beep, beep, beep. Several body parts hopped, dragged, or any other way they could, moved towards the source of the beeping. Dog, or more specifically, his head, opened its eyes and smiled. The end. Thank you for listening to the reading of Fluttershy's Giant. If you've been with me so far, then congratulations, you're awesome. I mean, if you can stand my monotone voice, which I will try to improve because I'm not satisfied with the quality of my reading right now. I need to spend more time editing these things. I've been leaving simple mistakes in them that are so noticeable on further listenings, which is really annoying because I've listened to these readings of mine over and over again just to get rid of the mistakes that I do while recording. But at times it's just not enough. And it's so annoying for me to hear mistakes because I want to put quality out there. I just don't want to make some mediocre reading with barely any effort in it. I mean, I can do that. Anyone can do that. Anyone can just plug in a mic and talk into it as they read from a screen. It's easy, but that's not the point. People are here to be entertained. I mean, that's why you're here, right? You want to be entertained. You want to follow the story. You want to hear me. I don't know why you're here exactly, but those are what I believe are the reasons that people even listen to readings in the first place. And I am sorry that my voice is so monotone when I record. I swear to God it's not like this when I talk normally, and it's really odd. And I will try to improve it, which I have said before. So, damn. Well, now, for the story, I'll give it maybe 54 out of 100. That's my score for it. I mean, it wasn't the worst thing I've read in my life. I mean, I've read far worse things that have been published as in actual published books as well as fan fiction. But it just felt bland, you know? It just lacked passion. The characters, both from the movie, i.e. the Iron Giant, and the show, were so illogical. They lacked any personality that defined them in both mediums. The author seems to just be unable. The author is just unable to understand what makes these characters tick and why we like them so much. I mean, the Iron Giant is my favorite, and I have seen a lot of movies as a child, but I have to say it's one of my favorite childhood movies. I mean, I've seen this thing multiple times. I love every minute of it. But to see it translated over so directly and, if I may say so, so rushed. It saddens me, and it's rather disappointing, honestly. I mean, the plot is word for word to the movie, pretty much, with minor alterations here, i.e. the ending and the magic and whatnot. But it just doesn't carry over the themes and ideas of the movie. And it also doesn't really truly explore the ideas set forth by the actual My Little Pony TV show. I mean, friendship. Okay. It was a major theme in both mediums. And it's never truly explored. I mean, the only time you ever see these ponies actually interacting with each other, it's so one-sided. And the actual activity leaves so little to actually discuss. There's no overall deeper understanding or, deeper ideas to each of these moments, that it falls flat. So the giant gets read books that depict superheroes, which happened in the movie, and in this case is being translated over to Daring Do. Alright, this story is quite old, so season 4 hasn't happened yet, so I can understand why Daring Do was the one that got chosen. But the difference between Daring Do and Superman is quite glaring. I mean, Superman, a being from outer space, came here and he pretty much adopted Earth as his home. He could have chosen, and I do pick the word choose here very carefully, he doesn't choose to destroy Earth like who would the free other Kryptonians that came later. But he chooses to save us, even though he's not one of us. And that's what happened with the Iron Giant in the movie. He saved the town from the missile, even though he was built as a war machine who came down to destroy Earth. Those two chose to go against what they could potentially have become, to be someone better, someone who helps other people. Daring Do doesn't have that same air. She's a adventurer, someone like Indiana Jones or Lara Croft. They go exploring things and collecting things. They're not really saving people. I mean, yeah, in their adventures, they save people, but indirectly. And that lack of overall understanding of what the movie was actually going on about does carry over to the actual fanfiction, and it suffers for it. The writing is slow, off-tempo, unstructured, and rather, again, bland. I mean, if you had to sum up this whole fanfiction in one word, bland. Nothing special about it. Paragraphs barely exist in this whole story, and because of it, it suffers in terms of trying to deliver an idea across to the reader. Most of it is just conversation between characters, and these reveal nothing about them. The characters come in and the characters come out the same. They don't go on a journey, which is a key idea of a story. I want to see the characters grow by the end. I want to see them learn something new from every story. I want to see them have consequences for their actions. But that's just not the case here. Characters are just thrown in because I need to put some words down on paper. I mean, honestly, just look at the roles of the Cuima Crusaders and explain why were they there. I mean, I understand that, yeah, at the end of the day, you need something to kickstart the action and kickstart the last 2 chapters of the novel. Not the novel, the fanfiction. But from 1 to 8, they are useless. Utterly useless junks who do nothing but fill space. And it is disappointing. Why put them there? They dilute the story and its focus on 2 characters and their relationship. I mean, the title is Fluttershy's Giant. It's not Fluttershy and the Cuima Crusaders Giant. And to see them put so much emphasis on the Cuima Crusaders is questionable. I mean, even then, the ideas that is brought up with the Cuima Crusaders, i.e. choosing their destiny, right? Choosing who they want to be. It's so poorly executed. You might as well forget it. Scooshaloo has a moment where she talks about how her wings don't work, and Fluttershy talks about how it's alright, you can choose to try. Like, you're choosing to try, and that's all that counts, because you're trying, and trying is better than nothing. Essentially, that's what I think the conversation was meant to be about. But then it just rambles on, or it's just ended with some affectionate smug or a hug or something. It's just so dull. You get no real impact from such writing. The jokes, or their well, to call them jokes is a bit much. The attempts at jokes were so laughably bad. They lacked tempo, they lacked pacing, they lacked any charm. I mean, these are all ideas that the fandom has made, and the writer has just slapped them in like, there we go. All the bronies will understand. Yeah, I don't need to develop these ideas for people who aren't bronies. Wow, all these bronies are being excuses for my poor writing abilities. Ha 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 ha. I really need to start reading some better things, because the story was quite depressing. Not in the sense that it's sad, but in the sense that it's, again, I use this word again, disappointing. It could have been something, but it's not. It could have been a good adaptation of the movie to the universe of My Little Pony, but it's not. It's just a mediocre, and if not bad, piece of fan fiction with errors that are so blatantly obvious that anyone doing a second reading, which the author should have been doing after he or she writes a chapter, could spot. So, overall, meh. Don't read the story, and I don't have a lot of hope for this writer, and I don't think he or she is writing anymore, so that's good. One less crappy writer to think about.